economy, stupid. Sorry, I don't mean you at home. It's just a turn of phrase. I appreciate most of you have no idea whatsoever what's going on. The economy always dominates election campaigns, but no more so than the campaign of 2010. Should national insurance contributions be raised? Can we afford tax breaks for married couples? Will there be a rise in VAT? Whoever wins. It seems that the state of your wallet is going to dominate this campaign. But even so, are politicians ignoring the elephant in the room? That would be the elephant. Namely, that after the election, we're in for much bigger cuts and job losses than anybody would dare to admit. We've turned to our favourite TV Don, David Starkey, for a history lesson with a sparkling of fairy tale dust, set in the fabled land of Canada.
Listen, my children, for I am about to tell you a fairy story. By children, I mean those of you who are not jaded or cynical, who love your country and believe that even some politicians love their country too, and are prepared to put its interests above their party or their pockets. Now, I know this is silly, but it is a fairy story. My story is about a great country, far, far away across the ocean to the west, and long, long ago, almost 15 years ago, in fact, which is way beyond the limit of political memory. It's a country of noble rivers, of great forests, of endless prairies and snow-capped mountains. It's rich in natural resources. It even has, for this is a fairy story, a people who speak our language and share our values. And yet, this great country was on the brink of ruin. For this people remember children who were so like ourselves, though far away and long ago, had spent too much, both individually and collectively. Their government debt stood at 70% of GDP. Their budget deficit was 9% of GDP. But just as it seemed as though this great country was going to go over the brink, their good fairy queen waved her magic wand. Dazzled by its spell, the people chose new leaders who were, and remember, this is a fairy story, wise, imaginative, and brave. The result was the great change. Their leaders didn't pretend, like ours, that the necessary money could be saved by efficiency savings or argue about minute amounts of national insurance contributions. Instead, they stopped government doing things. Regional aid and Department of Industry budgets were cut by up to 60%. Public sector employment declined by a quarter. And lo, within 3 years, the budget was back in surplus and stayed there. The currency soared and the economy boomed. And my children, the Canadians, for it is they of whom I speak, lived happily ever after.